What's up, guys, and welcome back to another replay cast as my hand just goes a bit specko on the mouse. Today's game is between Light and Soma. It's actually the first time I've ever cast a game of these two playing against each other. So have been doing a few more Light games recently and am now also trying to build out a little bit more of a profile on Soma against a lot of the rivals and people that he plays against on a regular basis. And as an added bonus, I managed to find a game of theirs on Screaming Seas, aka Roaring Currents. One of my, I'd say, absolute favorite maps, and I genuinely stand by that. Like, it's just a really fun map to do games on because it's just a meta in of itself. This is definitely a show match or even possibly Pro League. We have Best, Queen, Royal, and Rush playing. And it's around about a September 2025 replay. So yeah, man, it's also good to just see how these two go against each other. It is one of the possible finals of ASL 21. So at the time of recording, the round of 4 has not yet been played. But whether or not that is the case or it pans out that way is neither here nor there. I think it'll just be good to build a profile on what is an incredibly good Terran versus Zerg player, i.e. Light, against what many now consider to be the best Zerg player in the world. So I think this is going to be well and truly worth the time. I just want to say thanks everyone for the surge of support recently. Lots of likes, lots of new subs, lots of engagement, good growth in views. It's very much appreciated. I have, as I'm growing a little bit of a community, decided to launch a brand new Discord. So please come and join and hang out with me there. And you can get the replay from today's game as well as all of the other awesome matches that I cast on the channel. I leave the replay in a little, what do you call them? Like the little chats within Discord. The names actually just totally escape me now. I think it's a channel actually. You get categories and then you get channels, right? So yeah, I have a dedicated replay channel that I have put all the good ones in, so it's easy to navigate and find. And I've also put a little membership tier together for channel fanatics, assuming we may get one or two of those one day. So if you are interested in learning about any of that, it is all in the description box of this video. So we have had a little bit of gas, and we've now pulled some units off gas to enable an expansion. So it is a factory expansion from Light. So drop play and that sort of stuff is very good on this map. We tend to just see Zergs play a little bit more standard in the beginning because at the end of the day, Spire is sort of a fundamentally needed tech. And then we see some fun pivots and relatively quick overlord speed and drops and stuff like that. And the name of the game on Screaming Seas is to basically win the island map battle, right? So the maps that you cannot, or the expansions, sorry, that you cannot access directly by land, and you need to go via air. And that's where most of the games that have been played on this map are kind of decided. And there's been a few gems actually. Flash versus Lava on this map really sticks in my memory. I did a Bisu versus Jaedong, which really I enjoyed very much. So I think just good players will play entertaining games on this map. And I have no doubt that today will be similar. So now that we have expanded and we have all of our units on gas, we are just doing a factory into double port. So we're going to be playing Wraith, and this is where it's going to get spicy, right? So Zerg's going to probably have to make a Spore or two. We're definitely going to see some Scourge. You see Queens in this match, you see Guardians in this match, you see Devourers, you see all sorts of things, right? And I think that is probably the basis of its appeal in many ways, because you don't know exactly what you're going to get. It kind of just makes for more compelling viewing for sure. Alright, so we also have a control tower on at least one of our starports. So we're getting Cloak, so it's going to be Cloak Wraiths. We're also getting an eBay, So we're going to want to make turrets and probably go into a bio follow-up if I had to guess. I would see more research in the machine shop. I would also see a machine shop, which I don't actually see in this factory if it was going to be like a mechanical play. So I have a feeling it's going to be air units and then a transition into bio with a lot of drop ships and stuff like that probably. But we'll see. It's very difficult to predict the meta, but our first overlord has been picked off by our paper plane. And our first few mutas are about to hit the field. So we'll see. Soma's just, it seems quite intent on just chasing down this vulture initially. Flying around with these wraiths, scouting out all of the areas on the map. Found an overlord, which is what he was chasing. Nicely done. Here come the mutas though. What resistance are they going to be facing? One turret, which is not going to be very helpful at all. And Soma's like, well, there's some easy pickings here. Our cloak wraiths are on the way and they're going to intercept these mutas. There's the first wraith here in the fight. He's been cloaked right away. And there's a whole squadron. Overlord is there, briefly giving sighting, which is quite handy dandy. I won't be surprised to see faster Overlord movement researched incredibly quickly, but to my surprise, Soma's actually rushing Hive and making queens. I'm not surprised he's making queens. I am surprised he's rushing Hive before he's got Overlord speed. But he's just backing himself to fight these wraiths with Scourge. Oh my god, the micro that is on display here from both players, this is just unreal. Slow overlords are going to have to do the job for now. A hive takes quite a long time to make, but it's more than 3/4 of the way done. So I think Soma's going to be able to make this work for him. His muta pressure is going to have to subside for the time being, but he is making queens. And what is Light doing behind this? He is going into mech, so my instinct that he was doing +1 and teeing up a mech transition with this Wraith support was spot on. The queens are definitely going to be an interesting dynamic, and we'll see how Soma plans to utilize those as the game goes on. So up to about 6 or 7 Wraiths now, so we're going to get some Wraith kiting, something that's also quite fun to watch. It's kind of similar to the muta stacking, and the Terrans do it like pretty damn nicely. This is just like a scouting ling, and he's now a deadling. So we have our mutas, we have our Scourge, more Scourge. So just making heaps and heaps of Scourge. Defiler Mount coming in, Spore coming in. Now only getting more faster Zergling movement, getting Consume, Nidus. All the bases that Soma has are accessible by land, so neither player has actually pursued the expansion of an island base as of yet. Light is making medics, getting his comsat stations up, getting STEM, getting marine range. I beg your pardon, he's already got marine range. Getting probably hasn't got it yet actually, because he's getting STEM first, getting +1 science facility. So that's probably a means to get vessels or potentially battle cruisers. We'll just kind of see where he pivots from there. But I think the one thing I'll say is, from my experience doing Roaring Currents games, which is one of my favorite things to do, just because the games are so different, you can almost guarantee a huge variety of different tech applications from both races. And therein lies the beauty that is Roaring Currents. This SCV is just here to confirm. And he actually gets away with it. Gets out with his life. I didn't preemptively switch off all these guys' views. Sorry about that. So we'll get the back end of what he scanned, which was the natural. So ensnared slow-ass Wraiths against a Spore. He's going to put some pressure on you. The Lurkers, though, are going to be a real nemesis to our bio ball, which isn't moving at the moment. They could get trapped here if they're not careful. Okay, it does pull away in time. Now we will see what he's scanned. He's just basically scanning where he is now, seeing where there's a good place to press. Oh man, the kiting and the micro from Light here is so fierce. Oh my gosh, and he's just picking off his overlords so quick and easily. That is so insanely good. Scanning there again. Wow, this Wraith micro, dude. Really cool to watch. And you don't see it, right? It's never ever necessary on standard maps. I think Soma's probably lost 6 overlords, 7 overlords, 8 overlords. I mean, it's just overlord sniping like you've never seen. That's probably going to be the main theme of this video, unless something else really interesting happens in the late game. Defilers have now finally shown their pesky selves. I had a commenter who was like, bro, what's all the fuss with Plague, man? It's such a useless spell. You can now one-shot every one of these units because of Plague. You're going to have a very tough time convincing me that, because this guy's line was basically that Dark Swarm and Plague are just useless. Who would want to do it? Every single professional Zerg player is the answer. So they're clearly all wrong and you are right. Alrighty, so let's see what happens now. The Wiggly Worms want to do some more Plague by the looks of things, but I think he's mismicroed there. They didn't have any energy and he wasn't managing them. Okay. Got some very red planes still flying about. 116 plays 78. Just scanning these 2 bases. Soma's a little bit contained. He doesn't seem to be able to get into his macro really here. He's only on 37 drones. Light will happily trade against Hydras all day, especially because he's got Marine Medic. And we are 1-1 on our bio at the moment. Lurk's coming in. Scans here as well to see what there is. I think the Nidus is going to be helpful here. But Light's getting all up in his grill here, and this is becoming problematic for Soma. He can't go down to 2 bases. That's going to be a very dull day for him if he does. But I'm not seeing what, if anything, is going to stop this. If he targets down the Nidus, that's really going to help. Does send a few reinforcing lurkers, and it's kind of isolated the bio off to the corners here. The vessels have arrived, possibly to irradiate a lurker or 2. So I think Soma's going to clean this up, but you can see the supply gap is growing. So it's definitely feeling the pressure a bit here is Soma. And yeah, the death animation on a medic will always be one of my favorites. Both the sound that it makes, like the agonizing sound of the lady dying, and then the animation to boot. It's just freaking hilarious. Okay, so we've got 0, 0, 0 on our high draws. We're not going to chase these lurkers down there. I think he's going to probably try and irradiate. Light, on the other hand, has got a 3rd base. Soma's now taking a 4th, again accessible by land. So nobody is doing this sneaky early drop to take this base. By the way, this base tends to, if the games go long, become the most critical one. This one here that's in the top left. It hasn't yet been exposed in the Fog of War. But yeah, it looks like this one may just be contested by the land bases only, which would be kind of hilarious. Good to fire the play again, weakening these units quite a bit. So Soma's on 4 bases, just about. Light is going up to 4 bases now. His macro is just so far ahead of Soma. Like, something really drastic would have to change here, I think, for Soma to be able to play his way back into this game. It's looking really good for Terran. Let's pick off a few vessels. It's got lots of vessels too. Some drop ships here. So drops this tank, and I think what will happen is the vessels will do the sightings. Also dropped a few in front and a few behind. Soma needs to respond to this, but he's being stretched really thin. He's got this fight over here, where he's got some hydras picking off some plague bio. And then these guys are getting work done slowly but surely. The spotting that it's doing for this tank is pretty handy dandy, because he's been able to pick off a drone or two. So it's going to slow down mining for a while. But Light is just being absolutely unrelenting here. So stopped all mining at the natural with this little strategic drop. Very nicely executed. Seems keen on trying to pressure this position again. Soma's now found this critical base that I mentioned to you guys earlier, and just a little drop in there. So that is something that Light's going to have to detect and shut down at some stage. Still think though he's just in a very, very strong position because of his base count. And I just don't see a scenario where Light has enough, Soma has enough supply to be able to challenge any of Light's bases. So don't see a win condition for Zerg here, but I have been surprised in the past. A couple of nicely placed tanks here, which I really, really like. These bridges remind me of Tower Cross. It's probably the only thing in this map that is similar though. Oh, drop time. Okay, so it has shut down operations here as well, which is a real painful blow for Soma. He needed this base up and running. It was just a nice, simple, crisp drop execution from Light. And that is the end of that. So scanning again to see what army he has here. Wants to pressure once again. Oh, nice plague. Light seems like he may just go for the natural here. Hunt all over the show. Really good plague and a really good flank from Soma. So he has able to thin the numbers. But it just feels like Light is unrelenting. He's just able to power up and just keep coming. One after the other. Unrelenting waves of attack. Does have a lurker underneath this overlord. It's actually got a few. But I think these tanks are going to stack up. And if these vessels can get involved with a few irradiates, life for our Zerg does become incredibly painful. Even a D-Matrix thrown in for good measure. Trying to consolidate these forces in here. So just scanning to confirm what he has. Probably just trying to pick out what he wants to irradiate. So it does irradiate a fair couple of units. Does he pull in the army? It's a really solid game of Broodwar. It was not the kind of Screaming Seas shenanigans you're used to always seeing. We had a little bit of like ensnare and stuff like that, but in terms of strange unit comps, it was largely standard. Wow, some real vicious lurker spines here. We could look forward to a few more here. Oh my giddy aunt. That is just wrecked, bro. Absolutely wrecked. Doing our little drop trick here again with some spotting. And that is picking up a decent amount of drones. Soma is, I think, spread too thin to do anything about it. It's also losing Overlord somewhere because he's got himself supply blocked. Lights has killed so many Overlords. The sniping on the Overlords, I think that's probably the piece that is a bit unique, is the Wraith Micro. And his Wraith Micro is actually so good in this game that that's probably the part that got him such a big lead. And Soma's been behind the 8 ball ever since. Some lovely spines here. Everything on top of the tanks. Dark Swarm. Nice micros. Soma's defended valiantly. I must definitely say that. I just think he's gotten himself a little bit too far behind from a macro perspective. I love the audacity of Light just wanting to float this command center here without knowing that Soma actually has this base. So the good news has now been revealed to him. It's kind of funny. So this operation has been shut down once again. That extractor's about to die. Just look at the number of vessels, dude. Holy crap. Units coming through the Nidus again. So a couple of drops here to challenge this position. If Soma loses this base, he's lost the game. Can't really see what he has and hasn't got here because of the positioning of the command center. But while Soma's attention is split, Light seems to want to try and get up here to press this as well. I think it's one of those one or the other will do kind of scenarios. So if he holds here, this is just going to be too much damage. And that is the end of that. That was a really, really convincing win from Light. He had so much macro, so much reinforcing power. Soma was never able to get ahead on bases. The amount of damage he did by killing overlords and just getting early damage with the Wraith and the Wraith micro in general was such an integral part of why this game went the way it did. And that was awesome, guys. I love Screaming Seas for this reason. You get a lot of fun, really cool games. I hope you enjoyed this one with me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And until then, take it easy. Bye-bye.